Am I the asshole for canceling a trip because my friend can't afford it? I, 20 female, have a close friend, 21 female, who has been asking me for months to go to LA for a fun summer trip. Now, we live around 8 hours away, so I kinda just assumed we would fly, and the other day when she brought it up I told her we should probably book our flights soon. To that she looked really confused and told me how she couldn't afford plane tickets and she wanted to drive. I was sorta confused because if she can't afford a $150 plane ticket, how was she planning to pay for the activities and places she wants to go, Nobu, jet skiing, shopping, clubs etc., which all add up quick kk. She also doesn't have her license, which means I would have to do all the driving, which would be hard as I have bad back issues and driving for so long would be painful. She kinda just laughed and said since I have money she assumed I would pay for a majority of her expenses. I was shocked because why would she assume I would pay for her expenses without even asking? I have no problem covering something like drinks or ice cream, but to assume I would pay for everything by myself except for the hotel? We had previously agreed to split the hotel 50-50. I told her that this trip was her idea and she shouldn't have asked me to go if she was expecting me to pay for everything. She's upset and complaining about how it's unfair since I can afford to pay for her. Am I the asshole? Update. I told her for her to invite her on a trip, then assume I'd cover expenses like this was ridiculous. As for now, I'm just gonna cut back and let our friendship fizzle off. We've been friends for years, but this was childish and out of line. Thanks for all the advice. Not the asshole. Of course this friend is upset. She was dreaming of having a vacation on your dime. You maturely began talking about plans and checking expectations, and on discovering her expectations squashed the idea. Good for you. Please don't let her pouting and toxic complaining bother you. True friends would never have expected you to pay for them at all. Users are looking to take the easy road by having other people pay for them. This is not a true friend. I've known people like this. She isn't your friend. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. At least she showed her true colors. In your shoes, I tell a friend like this that I was hurt by the assumption and felt used. I need some time to think about things, and to give some space. You'll reach out when you're ready to discuss again. She kinda just laughed and said since I have money she assumed I would pay for a majority of her expenses. Location flag, location flag, location flag, red flag alert. Absolutely no. This is super out of line. If you still want to go on the trip, you can try to find common ground while reminding her that details need to be agreed upon. This way, you can find a plan that suits you both. That said, you're well within your right to forego the trip. Definitely not the asshole. You paying for pretty much everything was exactly why she asked you to go. She's not your friend, she thinks you're an ATM. Not the asshole. And time to drop this so-called friendship. She has shown you how she sees you. The wallet to pay for her fun. If you aren't paying, she doesn't see much use in you. Let this die off. Am I the asshole for not going on a family camping trip because my boyfriend's daughter's friends are going? I love my boyfriend and adore his daughter. Every year we go on a family camping trip with a group of friends. Last night, my boyfriend's daughter let me know her friend's parents will be dropping off their trailer where we are camping so she and her friends can stay in it. I asked how many friends, and it is 6 teenage girls total. I know I will be responsible for watching, feeding all the kids, and cleaning the trailer out after the trip. My boyfriend's daughter's friends is fun and will take them boating in the day, but at night this group likes to party, so he will not be ensuring they're not drinking or drinking too much. I worry about something bad happening, so would not be able to relax as I be the one on duty. This sounds like a lot of work and stress and not a lot of fun for me, so I have decided not to attend the trip. My boyfriend says I'm an asshole and ungrateful for not attending. Am I the asshole for skipping the trip because I don't want to monitor 6 teenage girls? Info. Is your boyfriend kind of lazy and inconsiderate? I know I will be responsible for watching, feeding all the kids, and cleaning the trailer out after the trip. And so he will not be ensuring they're not drinking or drinking too much. I worry about something bad happening, so would not be able to relax as I be the one on duty. It seems like you do not trust your boyfriend to be responsible. Is this basically the case? The fact that he is angry at you and called you ungrateful for not coming says a lot. Why would he be so mad, unless he's banking on your help? It's also odd to call someone ungrateful for declining to attend a trip. How did you tell him that you no longer wanted to attend? Just ask him what you're apparently being ungrateful for. You received an invitation, not a summons. You're free to decline it. He's her dad, and I'm assuming he okayed all of this with the extra guests etc. I bet he also says he had no intention of you doing all the work. In which case he's not lost anything by you not coming, has he, and has no reason to be mad. On the other hand, I don't actually know what you're supposed to be grateful for. How old are these girls? If they're old enough to party, they're old enough to feed themselves and clean out the trailer at the end. Have you spoken to the owner of the trailer? Are they expecting you to supervise the girls? Are they holding you responsible for the trailer, i.e., if the girls damage it, are you on the hook for the repairs? Why is your boyfriend partying so hard he can't monitor his own daughter? And all 5 of the other girls' parents are allowing this basically unsupervised trip? Let me get this straight, somewhere between 6-12 parents are okay with their young daughters being left unsupervised at night, presumably somewhat in the woods if you're camping. What the fuck kind of people are within your community? Info. I saw in a comment they're young teens. How much do they like to party? How are they able to purchase alcohol? Why will you be responsible for them? Why would you have to clean out the trailer? Am I the asshole for leaving with my stepmom on my dad's weekends with my siblings? I, 14 female, have an older sister, 17 female, and older brother, 16 male. Our parents got divorced when I was 4 and we lived with our mom most of the time and had every other weekend with our dad. He married my stepmom when I was 5 or 6 and were really close. 3 years ago my mom lost custody of me and I went to stay with my dad, but she got to keep my siblings and they still have every other weekend, except they hate my stepmom, so it's usually once a month or every other month. My siblings and I don't get along either. They know everything that happened that made my mom lose custody of me, but they keep saying it was my fault and I deserved it, and I was lying about how bad it was because I wanted to live in a nicer house with my dad. My therapist recommended family therapy with all of us, but they refused to go, and when they had to, they didn't talk. My dad's weekends were getting so stressful that it was affecting my health, and my stepmom and I were pretty much locking ourselves in my room all weekend, so we started taking girls' weekends on my dad's weekends with my siblings. We leave right when she picks me up from school and we don't come back until they leave. I haven't had to see my siblings in over a year because of this, but now my mom's using it to try to get custody of me, and she's saying my stepmom is trying to keep me away from family. The going away for the weekend was my idea, so I wanted to know if I was the asshole for leaving with my stepmom instead of dealing with my siblings. Not the asshole. More importantly, maybe you need to look into getting a children's advocate assigned in the court. You're old enough to have some say, and having your own lawyer in the proceedings might make a lot of difference. Info. Why is your father not doing anything about your siblings' treatment of you? Not the asshole. You have to protect your mental health, and it sounds like you and your stepmom have a good system set up. How is your relationship with your dad otherwise? It may be a good idea for you to go to therapy individually at least, so think about that, too. Good luck, kiddo. Not the asshole. Look, your siblings are being cruel about something traumatic that happened to you. Something bad enough that courts removed you from your mom's custody. That's not kid stuff, that's real-life trauma. You don't owe anyone your suffering. These weekend trips aren't running away, they're running towards something better. Mental health, peace, actual care. Your stepmom isn't keeping you from family, she's helping you maintain boundaries with people who hurt you. Not the asshole. Here's the thing, your mom lost custody. She can't just get it back. Your siblings were definitely on your mom's side, and they're likely also treating your dad poorly. Protect your own peace. You don't owe them anything. I'm thankful that you have your stepmother to be on your side. Not the asshole. I'm suspecting your mom has been planting these ideas in your siblings' heads because she lost custody of you. They didn't just come up with this on their own. Am I the asshole for refusing to babysit my step-siblings when my stepmom asks? Hey, so I, 20F, live at home part-time while doing college online. My dad, 50s, got remarried about 5 years ago to Sarah, 40s, and she has 2 kids from her previous marriage. Leo, 7M, and Mia, 5F. I honestly love those kids, and we get along really well. Lately though, things have been rough. Sarah just started a new job that's super demanding, and she's clearly stressed. Because of that, she's been asking me to watch the kids, constantly. Like last-minute stuff, multiple times a week, for hours at a time. It's really starting to mess with my schoolwork, my part-time job, and my social life. I'm starting to feel less like a student living at home and more like a free live-in babysitter. I've gently tried suggesting she look into other options, like after-school care or hiring someone, but she always says she can't afford it or that she trusts me more. Which is flattering, I guess, but also a lot. Yesterday was kinda the breaking point. She called me at 4 p.m. asking if I could watch them till 9 because her sitter cancelled. But I had a major assignment due at midnight and already had plans with friends. I told her, I love the kids, but I can't keep doing this. I've got my own stuff going on. I'm not a free babysitter. She started crying and said if I won't help her when she's struggling, then I'm not really part of the family. Now my dad's stuck in the middle. He gets where I'm coming from, but also thinks I should just help out more, to make things easier. I feel bad because I know she's stressed and not doing this to be malicious. But I also feel like I'm being totally taken advantage of. So, am I the asshole for saying no and not wanting to be the go-to babysitter all the time? Not the asshole. Your stepmother has had children for 7 years. She should have figured out how to care for them and arrange childcare in that time. Where's their father? Why is he not taking care of his children? I did notice that your father married your stepmother 5 years ago and the youngest child is 5 years old. Does that mean he brought an infant and a toddler into the house and just expected you to set aside your life and be an on-call babysitter? Not the asshole, not your children, not your problem. She only trusts you more because you're the cheap, easy option. I'm sorry, but your father needs to talk to his wife about how she uses you and claims that you aren't really family if you don't help her kids. If I was your father and heard my wife say that to my daughter, who has been more than helpful while managing her own life, I'd put a stop to that right then and there. But it also raises the question of, why the hell isn't your father taking care of his stepkids? Her kids aren't your responsibility, don't let her guilt you. Stepmom seems like the type to use her kids as emotional manipulation. Not the asshole. As harsh as this sounds, your father isn't stuck in the middle, he is just acting that way because he doesn't want to stand up to your stepmom. Your stepmom needs to realize that just because you stay home part-time and help when needed, doesn't mean you are forever obligated to do the same. Those are her kids and she needs to figure out a way to care for them, even if it means spending money for it. Go stay at your mom's house as much as you can. Not the asshole. Do not babysit anymore. It is putting your school in jeopardy. Save up money and arrange an alternative. You need to move out. Next time she asks, tell her that since she told you that you're not family, you need to focus on your future, that she's threatening since she isn't taking your needs into consideration. Someone has to. Is your dad not home at night to watch them? Not the asshole.